Hello folks, how to prepare for this exam in 90 days. And so 90 days is a nice short window. Obviously it's going to be tough, tricky. I'm going to give a plan, but right about now we're going to have a mechanism to say, hey, we need to leave something on the table and optimize rather than plan for perfection, plan for thoroughness. Keep that in mind. The content of what I'm going to say is not going to dramatically change. Just because you're preparing in a shorter window doesn't mean we'll sacrifice some whole ideas of preparation. That we won't. We'll try to squeeze more hours into a 3-month window and kind of pick and choose our battles. That's the idea. That's the theme. Find more hours and high intense preparation and figuring out what to leave on the table and what to pick. That's going to be the theme. Right? So to begin with, is this possible? Yes, definitely. And so it feels like it's late, but lots and lots of students have started this late and had a good go at it. What are the preconditions required to start this late and still have a reasonable chance of going to the very best colleges? Reasonable comfort with language. You cannot pick up reading habit from scratch. You cannot be the person who struggles to read and amp up in 3 months. Some basic numeracy. If you're able to solve 2x plus y equal to 7, 7x minus 3y is 18. If you know how to do this, if you know what is the ratio, you know what is percentage broadly, then you're good. And you don't need to know the proof for alternate segment theorem, but you need to know the building blocks of mathematics and a reading comfort. Those two are required if you want to amp up from here. And so the first step is belief. So you've got to figure out a way to say, this is going to be my game plan. I'm going to stick to this. I'll give myself a fantastic chance. And so we'll optimize to give ourselves a better and better chance. Right? Within 90 days, is it possible? 100% it is possible to have a full-fledged go at it. And not because you're a genius. There are some guys, there are always 15 guys who turn up for 3 weeks preparation and get 99.6. And so they're always there. And so they're already good, very comfortable. I'm not talking about those folks. I'm talking about regular guys who are kind of comfortable with numbers and math and a little bit of reading, and they want to prepare in 30 days, in 3 months, in 90 days. It is very much possible to have a credible strategy to give this a go. Right? What should we focus on? This is the boring part. You have to focus on arithmetic. It is half the paper and it's your route to 90th percentile in quant. Non-negotiable. Don't run into shortcuts and gimmicks and ideas that seem tempting, but eventually prove futile. And so don't do that. Learn from fundamentals. Don't skip fundamentals. You need to do 8 to 10 LRTA sets every week and read anything daily for VARC. And so whenever you're preparing for any exam, there's a learning part, which is completion of syllabus and all that. There is a practice part, getting used to the grind, and there is an exam assessment part. If you're starting this late, all 3 tracks need to run kind of parallelly. Learning part is arithmetic without fundas being compromised. LRDA and verbal reading and practice is to get the grind going. You cannot say, I'll finish some parts of quant and then come to this. You don't have time for that. You have to start taking 1 mock every week from week 1. You cannot say, I'll finish syllabus, thoda sa aur practice kar leta hoon. Baad mein November 2nd week ko I'll do mocks. It is not sufficient. If you don't do anything else, do mocks. You still have a chance. And so the 3 tracks that we talk about, they have to run parallelly. You cannot have one, then the other, and then finally mocks. Doesn't work. What do we amp up from here? Move on from easier questions to slightly tougher and more relevant CAT level questions. If you're not ready for them, don't do them very early, right in 2nd week, because you can get intimidated and then suddenly feel like ye to hoga hi nahi. And so there has got to be a steep learning curve. Amp up in speed, consolidation, mock taking. But if the curve is priced too steep, then you lose all into. A very fine line. Push yourself, and then but then don't have a mechanism to make sure that you're not jumping too far too quickly. 90 days is still enough time to have a good crack at this. Right? So move from the easy to medium and tougher level questions. Mix arithmetic and algebra. You typically 8, 9, 10 questions come from arithmetic, 4, 5, 6 come from, or 4, 5 come from algebra. These 2 out of 22 questions account for 15, give or take. Number system, permutation, combination, geometry, trigonometry, mensuration, coordinate geometry, all of them put together amount to 6 or 7. You've got these 2, you have your route to 99th percentile plus carved out for you. And so mix these 2 and then amp up your level of difficulty. Continue to take 1 mock per week. From now onwards, your analysis and value you take from the mocks need to improve. The first 3-4 mocks are just for the heck of it. To hang in there, to build stamina, to just be there for 2 hours without giving up, to build mental muscle for that grind, for the hustle. That's what the first 3-4 mocks are. These ones are more relevant. Analyze and see where you stand. Know which is your strong area, which is your weak area. Know where your scoring patterns emerge from. Have a plan for your route to getting 55 marks, your combination to get 62 marks, and then play for that. Finally, last month 3, mocks twice a week, focus on speed and accuracy. From now on, it's going to be completely dependent on mock analysis, gap filling, next mock analysis, gap filling, and so on. Just one circle. Month 3, we forget about consolidation. We can forget about consolidation. We'll still keep in mind learning from basics, covering new syllabus, ideas for dramatically new things being brought into the picture. All of those are out. We'll revise and refine. Refine your test taking strategy. Revise some fundas from your formulae notebook and your ideas notebook. Revisit them. Whatever you have learned, you need to be amped up in that. And whatever you don't know, forget about it. Don't add new stuff in the last 3-4 weeks before the exam. Aggressively take mocks. You can even take it to 3 mocks a week. Golden rules: don't chase every topic. Optimize. Definitely get arithmetic in. Definitely get algebra in. Even in algebra, linear and quadratic equation 100% need to be there. But if you're not comfortable with inequalities, functions, you can leave that and see if you can find your marks in number theory. There's no negotiation about linear and quadratic equation. Linear quadratic equation is fundamental. Linear equation, those absolute basics. Those two are bare minimum. You have to cover them. After that, if you're really not comfortable with x's and y's and squares and cubes and inequalities and functions, you can go and try to find your marks in number theory or permutation combination. But quadratic equations, you must do. Fine. So you have to pick and choose your topics, because you don't have the luxury of saying I'll finish everything starting today. Right? Mocks are for learning, not for ego. So we keep saying forget the scores, take the learning. Take where your mistakes, analyze your mistakes. Do not analyze your scores. And sometimes I find students will give us their last 12 mocks scores and percentiles, and then draw graphs with percentile. I'm like, how does it matter? Doesn't matter. And the system can get percentile wrong. You could have a bad day. Some math can be wrong somewhere. Forget about it. You've taken a mock. For that instant, all of us want to know whether it turned out to be 84.3 percentile or 98.7. So see that and then get over it, and then see what you can take away from the learning part, as a learning part, not the scores part. Right? If you have to do only one thing for verbal, it is reading. Read on the way to the exam. Read relentlessly, continuously, all the freaking time. And so that's going to be one absolute cornerstone of your preparation for verbal. So don't compromise on that. Right? Discipline beats motivation. This is true. I'm smiling because I'm not that disciplined myself. I don't have a very strict schedule. I have targets on a week chunks for myself, not on a daily basis. So I can't turn up at 8 a.m. every day and do something, and which is why my lifestyle is a little hectic. My exercise, my fitness, all of them, they yo-yo. Right? So, but what I lack in discipline, I compensate with relentlessness. I don't get beaten up to pulp too frequently. So if I lose, if I don't, my lack of discipline, I've internalized it. So I know that Monday and Tuesday I won't turn up. So I'm not going to kill myself that I didn't turn up on Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday I'll turn up. And if every day I want to do 40 minutes, I'll do 60 minutes on Wednesday. And then turn up for another 50 minutes on Thursday. And I'll do that much more in these 60 and 50 minutes that I feel like I've caught up. It's all, sometimes it's mental. And so know your style a little bit, that helps. Don't have the time for beating yourself into pulp and guilt tripping yourself and feeling bad that you didn't prepare and then wasting another 4 days on it and then saying, "Main hamesha aisa hi kar deta hu," and all that nonsense. And so they're important things, retrospective thinking and taking stock and gathering your thoughts, not good, per se good, right? But sometimes you just have to jump in and keep running. Turn up, keep running. That will pay off in its own way. And so the waiting for inspiration, waiting for motivation is a mug's game. Turn up every single day. That will take you someplace. you can definitely do it. Doing this, your job is to simply show up daily. And so consistency and intensity. And so two things that I'm big fan of, especially intensity. Right? Consistency, for me, consistency is relentlessness and turning up over and over again all the time. I can't do regimented discipline, but I can do vigorous relentlessness. And suppose I tell myself, this week, 20 hours, here I come. That works for me better than saying 8 to 10 in the morning and 8 to 10 in the evening every day. That doesn't work. But 20 hours for the week, I'll catch up, go ahead, do something and then do that. And when I'm doing that, I crank up my intensity. Don't drop down. So intensity is super important. Just as I say, laid back, you read some nonsense and it just drifts away from your head and you're doing a puzzle, but you're so relaxed about it that you might as well be not doing it. That doesn't count for anything. Right? When you're turn up 100% and pump perfectly. Right? What do? We offer a crash course, which is fantastic. Right? So why is it fantastic? Because a big part of it is anchored to the self-paced course. And so we have live online classes, we'll do revisions, we'll do workshops, we'll do the whole shebang. All of those provide the extra layer on top on the intensity spikes and gathering everything put together. And so the bedrock of it is, if you're starting now, is to craft your own schedule. And then say every day I'll do 4 hours of learning from 8 to 12 in the morning, grab a nap, come back at 4 in the evening, 4 to 7 I'm going to do a bunch of tests, take a break, do a couple of RCs, 1 LR puzzle, go to sleep. If you carve out a schedule like this, where you're weaving in 6 to 7 hours of preparation, it has to be anchored sitting on a powerful online backbone that nobody in the country provides as good as we do. So definitely have a crack at that. Prepare with mocks. The mocks are brilliant. This year we have really stepped up. Mocks need to be reasonably challenging, but that's only one part of it. They have to have atypical questions, non-template questions. We need to make you figure something out in at least 40% of the questions. So, and they need to be the right level of difficulty. So those are the variables that are tough to crack. And the unconventional, atypical part is really tough to crack. And the part where it is very representative, that is tough to crack. So too often I find mock questions becoming too tough or too cranky. We don't do that. And so, which is why I'm very proud of the mock product we have created. Try that out. Not just that, we also have a wonderful offer for on mockcat.2im.com. Just go and put coupon as 2im bonanza. And so it's a special offer. It's a lovely offer. Click that and you'll find out what it is. And it's an added cherry on top of the cake where you feel like, look, it's a good product, but I'm getting something extra. And hopefully that will nudge you towards taking more mocks more sincerely. Finally, CAT previous year question. This is the absolute mothership. What we have done here, what Abhishek and team have done is brilliant. So basically, you click one button, all of the mock previous year papers by slot, by year, get downloaded, by section get downloaded as PDFs. And then you can see them anytime. They link out to solutions. All the questions we have video solutions for. So you click, you can see video solutions from YouTube. Everything is kind of on a platter. It's easily searchable, scrollable on a brilliant HTML interface and PDF interface. So whatever works for you, download that variant and do. It's the mothership if you're beginning your preparation now, because there are 15 high quality papers there. Why would you not go through them? And so 45 section slots. And so you can go and say every other day I'll do one section test from previous year mocks. That's 45 wonderfully worthy chunks of preparation available to you for free on this website. Please make use of that. Right? That's about it. I know why I did that. Best wishes for